All right, just wanted to take a minute and go over inverse operations with you. So let's get a definition of what an inverse operation is. Quite simply, it's an operation that undoes another operation. Well, let's think about that, okay? Turning a light on, that's an operation, okay? So what undoes turning that light on? Of course, turning the light off, all right? Another operation would be closing a door. What undoes closing a door? That makes sense. Opening the door, okay? So inverse operations are operations that undo another operation, okay? Like turning off a light undoes turning it on. Opening a door undoes closing a door. Let's think of that in terms of math or algebra. Okay, let's look at our first thing. Addition undoes subtraction. If I do 11 minus 6, that's going to equal 5. But if I add that 6 back, 5 plus 6 is 11. I'm back to where I started. Same thing, subtraction will undo addition. If we do 7 and add a 3 to it, that's going to equal 10. But if we take that 10 and subtract that 3 back out of it, it's going to equal 7. Multiplication undoes division. Say we divide 18 divided by 2. Well, that gives us 9. But if we take that same 9 and undo that divided by 2, which would be multiplied by 2, it's going to give us 18, which puts us back where we started. And the last one here is that division undoes multiplication. So let's take 3 and multiply it by 7. Well, 3 times 7 is 21. But if we take that same 21 and instead of multiplying by 7, we undo it with a divide by 7, that's going to equal 3, which puts us back to where we started at. So how are we going to use this? Well, we're going to use it in solving equations here in just a few minutes, but let's think about an operation and its inverse. If the operation is 5, what's the inverse operation? What's the operation that undoes plus 5? Well, of course, it's going to be to subtract 5. So if the operation is times 7 or multiply by 7, what's the inverse of multiplying by 7? You got it. Divide by 7. If the operation is divide by 2, what operation will undo divide by 2? What's the inverse operation of divide by 2? Well, it would be to multiply by 2. And last but not least, if we subtract 14, so if subtracting 14 is the operation, what's the inverse operation? What operation undoes that? Well, it'd be to add 14. So the takeaway from this is inverse operations are operations that undo each other. Addition undoes subtraction. Subtraction will undo addition. Multiplication will undo division. And division will undo multiplication. Inverse operations.